Good afternoon, my name is Sam, and this video is an attempt to document the process of documentation of a call. I sought a prior event on the calendar and I found incoming call, duplicate it, make it my now event, relate and link to the identity of the person calling with the relation and link to the site they're calling about. This is the event. It's named in the format of when, what, who, and it'll be documented into the reconciliation workbook of the customer. So we group those data by time periods. In this case, it's by year. So we would go to the present period, which is the fourth month, first quarter, second quarter, and here we are in April. No, we're actually in May already. Wow. Okay, so this is the event. And if I relate and link it, embedding the hyperlink into the event, I can insert the other correlations, and then it'll spawn the need to do a lot more research. So for instance, this is the path to the site. We should have some indication that it was posted. So in this case, the documentation here would be that we could put that it was posted to the particular spreadsheet or where we do it. So I'll grab this and get the link to the cell. Posted will be indication that the process is begun with regard to relating and linking. So now I have this event posted on the calendar, a share sent to other administrators as well as to the customer. I don't need to send the notification again. It exists in the calendar where I expect it. It relates and links, or it should relate and link to today's efforts so that any admin will be able to confirm that this event happened on this given date, and they can follow through on processing the rest of the needed relations. In this case, the relation is back to April 10th, which is not correct. So we'll go to the path so that we can access all of the day's singular documentation. And that would be looking for May 1st. And here's May 1st. So we group all of the efforts and events of a day on a document for that day, like a journal. That journal should have all the events, documents, files related to the day. So I copy the link for this. We call that process collaborate. Let me adjust this. Collaboration is where we can work together and find a focal point. The focal point for collaboration is the day of the source of the focus. So in this case, the call happened today. So the event will be posted to the day's efforts, and then we have a checkpoint with regard to who did it occur and acted upon it. In this case, I did so in the role of administrator. So I have all of my events documented here as an administrator. And the assistance I'm seeking is anybody who can assist with regard to documentation. So this is going to be a call. I have the link to the event, and I have a link to that's actually the link for the day. But the call itself is here. So this is the event, and the event gets turned into an entity when it's related and linked to its path. We give coloration to indicate what a thing is. Entity is a nominative that we use to indicate, okay, this exists as that general tense of it. Entity, it, what is it? Well, we'd have to apply effort, and the effort we're going to apply is identification. The identification relates and links all the different elements. In this case, the elements include a location in regard to a stakeholder who's a person, a site, and a customer. And the services we provide are on a frequency that includes monthly, annual, and triennial. So there's a potential of not just closing the past issues and relating the current standing, but scheduling at the very least the next month or few months cyclicality of events we can go and do the job, the annual portion so that we can schedule a year in advance from the last date of annual relation, testing and compliance, and also do that for the 3-year. And we have this for hundreds of locations, but people come and are not willing to delve beneath the surface. So they just want to do one thing, and then they'll ask, what else do I do? In this case, each of these things will be instantiated as an entity, and then once we have established an entity, we apply our effort, which is another event, geared towards documentation in order to objectify. So our process is to have 5 steps. The first one is just the surface of a given focus, establishing it as an entity so that we can perform effort, which is an event that seeks to document. And then with that document, we seek to objectify. This is a manifestation of phenomenological reduction and application of the epoche so that we can separate a given focus and construe it as a thing in itself with relation to the essence of what it's for. In business, plenty of work. There's work everywhere, but people seem to be, they appear to be looking for a job as though a job is a thing. A job is not a thing in itself. A job is an opportunity to provide service. And there's a disconnect between recognizing that when you can provide that service and objectify it, people will look for you. Anybody looking for a job is a bit stupid in the sense that they're in a stupor with regard to identification, relation, and definition. Identify something as all those connections. I have ability. My ability manifests as capability. I can objectify that and I can provide evidence thereof. And from that, people will look for you. Jobs are everywhere with respect to the need. But the need is not the concern, it's the benefit. People want the benefit. They want the guarantee. They want the income derived from having that comfort. Oh, I have a job, so I have a guaranteed income. If you focus instead on the need and you service that need, you will be sought after, as opposed to you're seeking because you have a need, as opposed to your offering to help. And in that respect, you become a solution, not from a business standpoint. An expense that recurs in a time base is not a very good thing when it's not correlated to the relevant revenue. In my case, there's plenty of work, but there's nobody who will delve beneath the surface so that they can schedule the work, relate and link the work at the level of its cyclicality. Well, they're never here long enough to delve into what is the cyclicality. If it's monthly, have they related and linked going back in time and forward so that they've scheduled forward? Many of these people don't manage and maintain their own schedule. So then they're asking me to teach them how to schedule and how to manage themselves in time. Or worse, they think that they can manage time. Time management, what a horrible, stupid concept. Time will pass. You can only manage yourself. So your focus on time and management is misguided. Focus on yourself, manage yourself, and then use the construct of time and management upon yourself. Know thyself, manage yourself, schedule yourself, and then through that process, you can apply it to other outward constructs. So here I have a call. The call is related to a site. The site is related to a location where I gather the data. I use a spreadsheet to gather that data. It's a named spreadsheet. And in this case, this is the location. And there's a spreadsheet that has a workbook that has multiple sheets within. And if the activity is documented, then this becomes an activity that happened. It's an event that's posted. It's related and linked. And then it becomes a need for documentation. The documentation here is compliance related, and it should have existed in the form of an output of a PDF. So this is the specific one in particular, which relates to 2023, November 9th. So if it exists or not, which I should actually see if it already exists, this is a big problem. But we named the files by virtue of the package, which would be we package by year, then month, then date. And since I don't know what the sequential counter of this file would be, I can just save it to a number. £, we use 3 digits as a sequential counter. It's not posted in the period where I would expect it. This is where I stand presently. I would go back to that period and look in November. The expectation is that between now and in the past 5 months, somebody should have posted this, documented it, related and linked, but nobody has. Excuse me.